Welcome back to Bible Notes. Today we will be going through one of the parables that Jesus told. So we will be in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 3 through 16. Let's begin. Matthew 13:3 says, He told many stories in the form of parables, such as this one. Listen. A farmer went out to plant some seeds. Verse 4. As he scattered them across his fields, some seeds landed on a footpath, and the birds came and ate them. Verse 5. Other seeds fell on shallow soil with underlying rocks. The seeds sprouted quickly because the soil was shallow. Verse 6. So the plants soon withered under the hot sun, since they did not have deep roots, they died. Verse 7. Some seeds fell among thorns that grew up and choked out the tender plants. Verse 8. Still, some seeds fell on fertile soil that produced a crop that was 30, 60, and even 100 times as much as was planted. Verse 9. Anyone with ears to hear must listen and understand. Verse 10. His disciples came to him and asked, Why do you use parables when you talk to the people? Verse 11. He explained to them, You have permission to understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but others do not. Verse 12. To those who listen to my teachings, more understanding will be given to them, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But to anyone who does not listen, what little understanding will be taken away from them. Verse 13. That is why I use these parables. They look, but they don't really see. They listen, but they hear, but they don't really listen or understand. Verse 14. This fulfills the prophecy of Isaiah that says, When you hear, you do not understand. When you see, you do not comprehend. Verse 15. And the hearts of those people are hard, and they close their eyes, so their eyes will not see, their ears will not hear, and their hearts cannot understand, and they will not turn to me so that I can heal them. Verse 16. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. To start off, let's look at what a parable even means. A parable is to throw together or bring something new out of something old, using an earthly story to bring out the spiritual meaning or the spiritual truths that Jesus was trying to get across by putting them in a way that earthly humans would understand. Jesus used these stories to give the people like you and me a chance to really understand what he was saying to them, but also so that the people who weren't really listening, they wouldn't be able to understand, and it would just sound like a good story. Because a parable usually reveals a secret or a truth from the kingdom of heaven, but it also will shield those who are too lazy or stubborn or just don't want to put in the effort to have a good, obedient, spiritual heart. To understand the kingdom of heaven, you need to have an obedient spiritual heart. Now, in this particular parable, what are the 5 main key points that Jesus is trying to get across to us? The first one is the field. The field is, well, it's where you are, your neighborhood, your school, your work, your store. Wherever you are, all around you is your field. Number 2 would be the farmer. We are the farmer. The children of God, true Christians. We are the ones who are sent out into the field to do the planting. Number 3 would be the seed. What is the seed that we are planting? Well, it's the Word of God, the good news, the gospel, the truth about Jesus Christ, and getting him out into our field, into our world. Number 4. The soil. The soil is the lost souls, the people that we are trying to reach with our message. Who in this field, in this world, are we sharing our seed with? And finally, number 5, the harvest. We don't get to control the harvest. All we can do is plant the seed and hope it sticks. But God is in control of the harvest. Does our seed produce a plant? Will that plant spread to more soil, more fields? We can only pray that it does. But we are called to plant, someone else might be called to water, and God is called someone else even more to harvest. We could be harvesting someone else's plants, someone else's seeds. But we don't get to control it. So, what do we need to be able to plant the seeds that God has given us? Let's dig a little deeper and find out. The first thing you need to remember is that there will be some people who try to fight you because they just don't want you to plant your seeds there. They don't want the gospel. They don't care. But you need to still try to plant your seeds there anyway. Because just because they don't want it doesn't mean someone else won't come along. And that's okay. But if you plant your seeds, you need to plant them with intention. See this? You can have seeds in a packet. But if you don't plant them, nothing will happen. Nothing will grow. But if I take these seeds out of this packet and put them in the ground and water them and take care of them, eventually I'll have something wonderful. The same can be said with our seeds that God gave us. We have to plant them intentionally with the knowledge that maybe something won't happen, but most likely it will. And sometimes seeds can just be planted by the way you treat people. If you treat people with respect and kindness, you might see something happen more than if you were rude and cold. So try being kind to others. Live by the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And who knows, you might be surprised. It also helps to show concern for people. Have compassion for strangers. Show those emotions. Show that you are real, and you might be able to plant more seeds. But you also can plant seeds. The best way is just to be in a conversation. Talk to people. Put down the technology for a while and just go meet real people. I know it's a scary world out there right now, but you never know what someone is going through if you don't talk to them, ask them, try to connect and understand. Let's look really quickly at the book of Acts and turn to chapter 17, and we'll look at verses 22 through 34. Verse 22 says, "So Paul, standing in front of the council, addresses them as follows. 'Men of Athens, I notice that you are very religious in every way.'" Verse 23. "For as I was walking along, I noticed your many shrines, and on one of your altars you had inscribed, and to an unknown God. whom you worship without knowing, is the God that I am telling you about. Verse 24. He is the God who made the whole world. And since he is the Lord of heaven and of earth, he does not live in man-made temples. Verse 25. And human hands can't serve his needs, for he has no needs. He himself gives. He himself gives life and breath to everything and satisfies our needs. Verse 26, from one man he created all the nations. Through the whole earth he decided beforehand when they would rise and fall, and he determined where their boundaries were. Verse 27. His purpose was for the nations to seek after him and pronounce God. That's it for this time. I'll see you guys next time. And remember, I love you and I'm praying for you. God bless.